Hello and welcome to the second episode of the Survival Handbook. This episode is all about how to harvest resources and where to find them, specifically in early game, plus a bonus tip. This video is geared towards beginners that want to learn more about the game, and this will hopefully guide them in the right direction. If you're new here, I'm Terrifier and I make videos about Ark. If you like me and you like Ark, consider subscribing so you don't miss any future content. Alright, so the first thing to understand is that there are two types of resources, raw and processed. Raw resources are materials you can harvest by using tools on resource nodes to collect the specific resource you're looking for. This includes resources like metal, thatch, fiber, hide, and so on. Processed resources are materials you can either find or craft, like spark powder, electronics, and gunpowder. Processed resources can oftentimes be found in the world around you if you know where to look. For example, cementing paste can be found in abundance within beaver dams, electronics can be harvested from dead tech dinos and creatures like the Defender, and charcoal can be harvested from these burnt trees found in lava biomes. Of course, this isn't the only way to acquire these resources, as I'm sure you already know. You can take some simple raw resources and refine them into the processed resource you need. Sometimes this takes a specific crafting station like a mortar and pestle or smithy, but resources like charcoal are simply a byproduct of burning wood, and as such can be created in campfires, refining forges, and anywhere else wood can be burned. Okay, so now that you know about the two different classes of resources you can acquire, let's talk about how to harvest them. A vast majority of raw resources in the Ark can only be harvested through the use of tools like pickaxes and hatchets. Of course, there are some resources that can be harvested by hand, like fiber and berries. In fact, the very first thing you do on the Ark is punch trees to collect thatch and wood to make your first set of tools. Understand that the more damage your tool does, the more efficiently it'll be able to harvest resources. This means that the stone hatchets and pickaxes you make at the start are far less efficient than the metal hatchets and pickaxes you'll make later. Please forgive me if this is too simple, but this is what a metal node looks like. There are actually enriched metal nodes that provide much more metal as well, and they're basically completely golden. The reason I'm bringing this up is because when I first started, I had no idea what metal nodes looked like, and basically lucked out on river rocks. Make sure to use a pickaxe on these metal nodes, since using a hatchet will get you far more stone than metal, and obviously you can get stone in like a billion other places. After you get your first bit of metal, make sure you have a refining forge in your base to turn this raw resource into the processed resource, metal ingot. As you progress through the Ark, you'll find that metal ingot is one of the most used resources, so the more you have, the better off you'll be. Also, if you didn't know, this is a crystal node, and this is an obsidian node. You'll need to be able to recognize these nodes to advance yourself to mid-game, so again, I apologize if that's too simple. As I mentioned earlier, metal tools are more efficient than stone tools, so in order to utilize your time properly, I recommend gathering these advanced resources with metal tools. You can also use dinos like the Anki to gather them for you even more efficiently than metal tools, but I'll have another video that goes more in depth with that in the future. This video isn't over, I do have more for you, but I want to quickly summarize what we just talked about. All you need is a pickaxe and a hatchet, and you'll be able to gather the resources in the world around you. Pickaxes collect more flint, thatch, and meat, while hatchets collect more stone, wood, and hide. As long as you have these two tools, you'll do just fine on the Ark. Let's move on. The last thing we'll talk about today is where to find these resources. Oftentimes you'll look at a crafting recipe and it'll call for silica pearls or obsidian, and you're just not sure where to find them. You could spend the next few hours trying to find them on your own through exploration, which honestly isn't the worst idea. Or you could go to the Ark Wiki and find a resource map. That's what I do when I'm on a new map and need to find a resource, but in order to locate those resources, you'll need to be able to read your map and the wiki's map. So let's briefly go over that. You can press M if you're on PC or select on console to bring up your map. Whenever you give someone coordinates or whenever you're trying to find the coordinates given to you, make sure to use the vertical coordinate first. That's how the Ark Wiki map is laid out, as well as the GPS you can get later in the game. So if you found lots of metal at 45, 63, you'll want to move north or south first to get to 45, then east or west to get to 63. For you math nerds out there, always find the Y coordinate first, then the X coordinate. If you want more tips on surviving the Ark, click on the video on the left. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any content, and as always, thank you so much for your time today. We'll see you in the next video.